Hello, welcome back to the Motorbike Mechanic channel. I'm Steve, and this morning you join us on a local job. Actually, we're just in Leamington Spa. We're going to be doing a full service on a Lexmoto Enigma 125, and the customers also asked us to look at the brakes on it. So we'll see you in there. Right, so here we are with the Enigma. So we're going to do a full service on it, and we also need to check out the brakes a bit, because it looks like this one's binding, so we need to sort that one out. And the rear, it's not binding, but we've got a bit of a squeak on there, so we need to look at the rear pads as well. So we'll get into it. There we go. Once you've got the seat bucket out, we can get to spark plug down here, which is just there. There we go. And now we can reach in here and get the spark plug out. Just like that. There we go. Oh, it's awkward. There we go, that's better. There we go, all plug out. Beautiful. So that's an NGK standard plug. This is an NGK racing plug, NGKR. So the number is C7HSA, but this is a racing, so CR7HSA. So exactly the same plug, just a racing version of it. So that one's going in. Got to be a bit careful putting these in, because if you drop the spark plug, it can end up between this plastic shroud and the engine, and then you're into a world of pain trying to find the spark plug. There we go. Takes a little bit to snug it down, just because you're crushing that crush washer at the bottom of the spark plug there. You don't want to go too mad with it. You want to make sure it's squished down. Get your HT lead back on there. There we go. Nice positive click. Right, that's the spark plug done. So make sure that it still runs. Oh dear. Oh, is the side stand down? No. Oh dear. That's interesting. Mind you, it wasn't running before, so. Well, actually, hang on a minute, because when we turn that on, I'm not hearing a fuel pump. No, I'm not hearing a fuel pump. Why are we not hearing a fuel pump? Okay. All right. Ah, did you hear that? Now we've got a fuel pump. Weird. Right, we'll let it warm up. And whilst it's warming up, we'll get the air filter replaced. And then once it's warmed up, we'll get the, what do you call it? Once it's warmed up, we'll get the oil out and do the oil strainer as well. No spare bolts, which is always good. So we need to come around this side. So we're going to get this air box out. Looks like we've got some screws and some Allen bolts as well. Got a bit of all sorts in there. One air filter. We'll just give that a quick clean out. There we go. Brand new air filter compared with the old one. You can see the old one's a bit scabby. So, old one in the bag, new one on the boat. Just give that a quick clean out as well. Little blob of copperies on all of these just to help them. Right, that's all that lot done. So, engine's nice and warm now. We'll get the oil dropped. Whilst that's draining, we will we'll have a look at the brakes as well. There we go. Right, so we've got a new copper washer for the sump plug. We'll just park that there for a moment whilst we're draining out, and whilst we're waiting for that to drip, we'll have a look at this front brake here. Right, so when I'm messing around with brakes and stuff, I do tend to wear gloves because brake dust is not nice stuff. And let's have a look here. I'm already seeing a couple of issues with this brake before we've even got the caliper off. Number one, I've heard a bit of a graunchy noise when we've been wheeling this bike around. So if you look in here, this is the piston of the caliper. That's the back of the pad. This is the piston of the caliper, and you can see it's a long way out. So that indicates to me that possibly that pad is completely worn out. And it's also on there solidly. So if we just tip the bike backwards ever so slightly, you see it's solid. So we'll get that off. Yeah, if you're using levers to get calipers off, you know there's something definitely wrong. So I think the pistons are seized in this one, so we're gonna have to just go nice and careful, nice and steady, and try and get it off without bending or breaking anything. Always go easy, go steady. He's on there solid as a rock. Oh, as you can see, he's absolutely on there. Oop, you forget. Slow and steady gets it done. Lots of patience. People always ask me how I've got the patience to do the jobs I do. These things do take a bit of patience. We're nearly there. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, all three pistons are pushed right out. The pads, they've got no friction material left, or very, very, very little. And the pistons aren't pushing back. I've just torn my glove as well. So we'll get this apart. We'll clean it all up. Yeah, the actual caliper carrier itself is pretty seized. Yeah, there you go. There's one of the pistons, one of the brake pads, and as you can see, no material left on it at all. So, oh dear, not good. Right, we'll get that apart, get it sorted for him. Right, Okay, we've got a serious problem with this caliper. As you can see, lots of metal filings on the end of that. So this caliper retaining pin is completely seized in the caliper. Can't get it out. Just unable to get that out at all. So because that's seized in there, probably we're going to have to scrap that caliper, get a new caliper and refit it, because that is not coming out. We've got a couple of other options that we can do, but things are not looking very good at the moment. Things are not looking good. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to heat the caliper up, see if we can get this stuck pin out. And because the 5mm Allen head is rounded out, we're going to use a T40. Might be a T35, T30. Yeah, gonna have to try and hammer in the Torx bit. Not easy at all. Like I say, this job has gone very, very bad. No, it's not doing it. The trouble is our 5mm, as you can see, our 5mm in there isn't gripping very well. Let's just give it a try. I'm not expecting this to come apart. No, it's just chewing it out. Yeah, just chewing it out. Right. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, would you believe it? One pin. You can see from the colour of the part there how hot we had to get it. We've actually blued the tool. So yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Just one little pin will ruin your day. But we managed to get it. So we'll leave that over there, let it cool down. We'll get this one apart. hopefully we haven't done any damage to the seals in heating that caliper up. Everything is quite hot. As we can see, now we've got it apart, it's still really hot, but now we've got it apart, you can see all of these pistons are pushed right out. So we'll push them out a little bit further, we'll give them a clean, try and free them off, push them all back in again, put new pads in, and that will hopefully be the front brake sorted. Right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to clean the threads on this caliper pin. Just clean these threads out. Ow! Everything's hot. There's my bloody cloth. There we go. And there we go. That's that done. So let's just clean the threads out. So now that pin should fit in there very nicely. Yes, it does. Slides in. So we've got a brand new pin in there. And we've got some brand new brake pads. So you can see the difference between the old brake pads and the new brake pads. The old brake pads, nothing left of them at all. No friction material whatsoever. New brake pads, lots of friction material. So we get those replaced. We've got your new brake pad retaining pin into the brake caliper there. So that will swap out from the old one, which we completely mullered the end of, trying to get it out. So that can go in the bin. Actually, I can go in that packet there and go in the bin. They can go in the bin. And what we'll do is we'll tidy this up, get these fitted, and move on to the back one. I just want to pump out these pistons and give them a clean. Piston clean here. If you remember, we did this a little while ago on a Bergman, and unfortunately that didn't really work, and we had to go back and do a caliper rebuild on that bike. Fully expecting the exact same thing is going to happen here. Looking at the corrosion on these pistons, it's pretty severe, and it goes pretty deep as well, all the way back on the pistons. So I think this is in need of a caliper rebuild. In my opinion, I should say, it's in need of a caliper rebuild. We'll try and hold that one piston steady whilst we pump the other ones out. So the other ones, being a linked brake system, you got one caliper, well, you got one piston on one lever, as you can see, and then the other two are on the other lever. There we go, that's all three of them pumped out. These are actually very free. Oh, that one isn't. That one isn't. I'll take it all back. They're not very free at all. So that one just went back by hand. Nice and free, but these two are absolutely solid. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to pop the piston out. I don't want to be here bleeding brakes and doing all sorts of stuff. I just want to be able to get it cleaned up. You see the piston turning. So as long as you go steady with a pair of pliers and you don't mark the actual piston itself, you're okay. It's when you don't go steady and you slip or you mark the edge of the piston, that's when you get in trouble. So, as long as you go steady. There we go. That's 2 back in. Just going to pump that one back out again and see what happens. Yeah, you see it's bringing a load of rubbish with it. I think that's the one we're going to have a problem with, because that does not want to slide back nicely. Lovely job. So we'll get on to this last one now. So we'll just use the brake rewind tool, pop it in place, because all we want to do is we want to keep that one clamped whilst we're playing with this one here, because they're both on the same circuit. So you see that one's pushing out. Yeah, that one's absolutely solid. Yeah, that one does not want to play ball. So, typically, the further you go down the caliper, the worse it's got. And this one does not want to play at all. So we just need to pop some grease on these pins. They're sliding nicely. So new pads going in. Get the retaining pin in there. Fingers crossed everything fits nicely. We might have a problem here. The problem being the diameter of the hole might be slightly different. Oh no, it's not. It should fit. I think it's just slightly dodgy Chinese brake pads. They don't want to line up. Yeah, that one lines up. So this brake pad here, if we put it in the caliper, I've had this before, or these little Chinese bikes, the hole doesn't actually line up with the hole in the caliper, so you can't get the pin in. You see that? It's just slightly offset. So what we have to do, you just have to file a little piece off the leading edge of the brake pad Less than ideal, but it's what we've got to do. Chinese bikes are cheap for a reason, unfortunately, and this is the reason. Nothing ever bloody fits. You know, it's only a couple of millimeters, if that, but if it ain't going to go in, it ain't going to go in. There we go. That's the pin located now. Very, very tight. I'll put the retaining clip back in again. There we go. Front brake done. Let's see what it spins like. Just have a little pump up of the brakes. I'm not expecting this to spin all that. This is all a bit. Yeah, so now it spins. So we've freed that off for the chap. Right, so that's the front brake done. Now onto the rear brake. There we go. That's the oil topped up. We're at the max mark. Good stuff. That's the oil sorted. And we've done the strainer as well. So now we just got to do this back brake. Okay, so we've got to get this caliper apart. So same as the front really. We'll just undo the mounting bolts. Oh, they don't feel very well. They don't feel very good. Ooh. Slow and steady. Yeah, that's absolutely solid. Oh. Is anything going to snap here, is the question. It certainly feels like it might. So hopefully not. After we've had our little indiscretion with the front pin. Oh no, it's going apart now. Yeah, you can see how crusty and horrible those bolts were. So we'll put a bit of copper slip on those before they go back in. It's kind of the same as the front really. This looks to be seized on here. Not as bad. But even so, ow, 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 that was my fingers. Right, have a look. Oh, it's actually got a little bit of pad life left in those. Let's just flick these pins out and we'll see what it's like under there. Oh wow, it's not seized. It's pretty solid, but it's not seized. There we go. And there is actually some friction material on those. They need changing, I would suggest. But it has actually got a bit of material left on them. Yeah, they're not bad. You can see the wear indicators on them. So not bad at all. Right, I think it's a question of, yeah, just cleaning the piston up and getting it sorted. So what we'll do is just give it a couple of pumps out, clean all that up like we did with the front, and we'll get it back together again. Now, we didn't bring any rear pads with us. I knew the fronts were bad, but I didn't know about the rears. So we're going to refit these rear pads and just let the customer know that they're okay. They've got friction material on. They're not anywhere near as bad as the front ones, but they do need changing in the near future. Right, so there we go, rear caliper reassembled. Pop that back on. And we did say we were going to do a bit of copper grip, copper slip on the old caliper bolts. Pump up the rear brake, and there we go. Not binding anymore. Right, let's get rid of that glove, what's left of it. Okay, so that's both front and rear brakes done. We've done the oil, we've done the air filter, we've done the spark plug. So we've just got to do the headlight bulb now. Okay, so we need to change this headlamp bulb out. So we're just going to take the fairing off, get that headlamp bulb changed out. We'll join you back in a second or so. With these, you mustn't actually touch the bulb itself. You can only touch the metal bit around it. And then here it goes. Pop the cover back on again, and we'll reassemble the front of the bike. Okay, so that's this one all done. Oil strainer, air filter, spark plug, serviced both front and rear brakes, and we've also changed the main beam headlight bulb, so that all works. So there we go, it's on the button. Lovely ticking over. So we'll hand that one back over to the customer now. So remember to like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next video.